All right, let's dive right in. You've brought us Endeavor, Deep Sea this time. This board game looks seriously in depth.
Yeah, it
So
does.
we're going deep into the world of ocean exploration, but with a strategic twist. Are you ready to see how this underwater adventure unfolds?
Absolutely. And, it looks like Endeavor. Deep Sea isn't just about winning.
Oh,
It's about making a real impact.
interesting. The rule book keeps mentioning these scenarios. Is that like choosing a different mission each time you play?
Yeah, exactly. Each scenario sets up a unique challenge.
Hmm.
It's got its own goals, special rules, and even its own impact board. Think of it like choosing your expedition's focus.
Yeah.
Are you going to be researching coral reefs
Right.
or mapping those underwater
Oh,
trenches
cool.
or maybe protecting some endangered species?
So each game is like a whole new adventure, even if you're playing with the same people.
That's awesome. And you can play this solo, cooperatively, or competitively.
It can, yeah.
Is there something that ties all those play styles together? Well, no matter how you play, the core idea is making a positive impact on the ocean.
Hmm.
You're not extracting resources or, conquering territory.
Okay.
It's about building up your team's strengths in these four areas: reputation, inspiration, coordination, and ingenuity.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing those terms everywhere in these rule books.
Yeah.
What do they actually represent in the game, though?
All right, so reputation. Think of it like building your network in the scientific community.
Yeah.
The better your reputation, the more talented specialists you can attract.
So it's like you're becoming this like renowned oceanographic institute,
Yeah.
drawing in all the best minds.
Exactly. And then you have inspiration, which is all about your team's passion for the work. The more inspiration you have, the
Yeah.
more you can get done.
Oh, I like that it's, like you said, it's not just cold hard science. It's about that spark.
Exactly.
Okay, what about coordination?
Coordination is all about teamwork. It gives you that flexibility to shift your focus as, new challenges pop up.
So it's about efficiency, like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, pretty much. And then lastly, there's ingenuity. This is your technological progress.
Okay.
Like your ability to develop new tools to push those boundaries.
So as your ingenuity grows, you can like go deeper, explore further.
Uncover more
Secrets.
You got it. It could mean you develop submersibles for those crushing depths, or maybe cutting-edge sonar to see those hidden landscapes.
Wow, this is cool. You've got these four attributes all working together, and it sounds like they all feed into each other.
Yeah,
But how do they actually translate into winning? Is it just about getting a ton of points in these areas?
that's part of it, but there's this element called the impact board.
The impact board. This keeps coming up. What's so special about it?
Well, think of it as a visual representation of your conservation efforts.
Ah,
It's not just a score tracker. It shows the actual changes you're making.
so you're leaving a mark on the ocean, but in a positive way.
Exactly. Certain actions let you put markers on the board,
Right.
representing things like marine reserves, reducing pollution, maybe protecting endangered species.
Okay.
And these markers don't just represent points. They unlock rewards and benefits that can help you achieve your goals.
So you're not just playing for points, you're playing for a healthier ocean. Now I see how it brings that conservation theme to life.
Yeah.
So how does a game actually play out on the table? What's the setup like?
Okay, picture this. The game board is made up of these ocean boards, each representing a different zone
All right.
with its own opportunities.
So like a map of the ocean floor, but you uncover it as you play.
Yeah, exactly. You start in those shallower zones and gradually work your way down as your ingenuity increases.
Okay.
That allows you to access those deeper, more challenging areas.
I can already imagine that sense of discovery. You're exploring uncharted territory, facing new challenges, unlocking those secrets.
Yeah.
But who are you leading on this underwater adventure? The rulebook mentions specialists. Are these like your team members?
Exactly. Specialists are the heart of your operation. You start with a team leader who's already an expert, but throughout the game, you recruit more from a central pool.
So you're assembling this dream team of scientists, explorers,
Yeah.
conservationists.
That's the idea. Each specialist has unique abilities, like a crew with, specialized skills. You might have a marine biologist who's amazing at researching marine life, or a deep sea diver who's great at those tough environments, or maybe an engineer who can develop new tech.
Okay, so you're building a team of individuals with their own strengths.
Yeah.
This is getting me excited to play. How do you actually get these specialists, though? Is it like you just hire them, whatever?
Not quite. There's a system of tiers from 1 to 5. Higher tiers usually have more powerful abilities.
Gotcha.
And your reputation really matters here. The better your reputation, the more impressive your team can become.
So it's like attracting the best because you're a leader in the field.
Exactly.
I love that. It adds another layer of strategy.
It does.
But I'm guessing you need more than just a skilled team to explore the ocean depths. What about equipment?
You're thinking like a true explorer. That's where vessels come in.
Oh, right. In the rule book, they have those cool ship pieces.
Yeah?
Are those the vessels?
Yes. Those are your lifeline for exploring the different ocean zones. You start with a basic vessel, but
Okay.
as your ingenuity grows, you can upgrade to more advanced ones, maybe a submersible for those incredible depths, or a research vessel with a state-of-the-art lab.
So you need the right tools for the job.
You do.
Okay, this is all making sense. But how do you actually do things in the game? What are journals and dive tokens?
Okay, journals, think of them like your team's logbook of scientific discoveries. You can publish them by matching certain symbols and paying a research cost.
So you turn your knowledge into tangible benefits for your expedition.
Right. And published journals don't just give you points, they can give you bonuses or special actions, maybe even permanent upgrades.
Wow, so journals can be crucial. So it's not just about exploring, it's about documenting
Exactly.
and sharing that knowledge. And what about dive tokens?
Dive tokens are where things get a little unpredictable. You're sending a submersible down into the murky depths. You never know what you're going to find.
The thrill of it.
Yeah. So when you take a dive action in the game, you draw a dive token. These tokens can give you research which you need for those journals and certain conservation sites, but they can also have these special effects that might help you or might set you back.
So they add that element of chance you get in real life explorations.
Yeah.
Sometimes breakthroughs, sometimes setbacks.
Exactly. And that's part of what makes it engaging. You're always adapting,
Yeah.
making tough choices, pushing those boundaries, just like real oceanographers.
I love how much depth there is to this game.
Uh,
We've got attributes, specialists, vessels, journals, dive tokens, but I'm still a bit fuzzy on how a typical round works. What are the main phases in a round of Endeavor, deep sea?
So each round is like running a complex expedition. There are two main phases you got to navigate: preparation and activation.
Okay, break those down for me. What happens during preparation?
Think of it like you're back at your research base, getting ready for the next part of the journey. Players recruit those new specialists,
Yep.
adding to their team's expertise. They gather discs.
Hmm,
These represent their team's effort for the round.
got it.
It's like allocating resources or assigning tasks.
So you're strategizing, making sure you have the right people and resources before you go out there.
Exactly. You're setting yourself up for that activation phase where the real action is.
All right, so preparation is about planning and logistics. What about activation? What kind of actions are we talking?
This is when your team goes out to explore, to research, to actually make that difference. Players take turns activating their specialists
Right.
or performing different actions, and it keeps going until everyone passes, like they've done what they wanted for the round.
So it's back and forth with each player making moves, reacting to how the game is changing.
Exactly. And the fact that everyone has to pass before the round ends adds this tension.
Oh,
Do you push it and risk a setback or play it safe?
ooh, the strategy. Now, I remember seeing 5 main actions in the rulebook: travel, sonar, dive, conserve, and journal. Can you give us a quick overview of each one?
Of course. Travel is how you move your vessels between zones,
Okay.
opening up those new areas.
So it's like setting sail to a new area.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes arriving in a new zone gives you a bonus, maybe inspiration from the scenery, or you
Yeah.
encounter a rare species. Then there's sonar, which is all about mapping the unknown.
Literally charting out the ocean floor.
Yeah. When you do a sonar action, you reveal new ocean boards, add them to the game board. It expands the play area.
That's cool. So it grows as you play.
Yeah. And then we have dive actions. These are tied to the dive tokens.
Right. The dive token.
These are all about risk, about delving into those unknowns. Remember, dive tokens can bring rewards or setbacks.
It's that surprise that keeps you going.
Exactly. What about conservation actions?
Oh, yeah. How do those work?
That's where you see your positive impact. You protect those ecosystems, you establish marine reserves,
Oh, okay.
maybe even implement policies for sustainable fishing.
It's like taking real world actions and putting them into the game.
Exactly. And often conservation actions let you put those markers on the impact board,
Hmm.
showing those positive changes. And finally, the journal actions.
Those research papers.
Yes, it's using that knowledge, turning it into benefits to help you achieve your goals.
Okay, so 5 core actions: travel, sonar, dive, conserve, and journal. They all seem super important.
They are.
But how do you decide which ones to take? Is it just doing whatever you feel like?
Not quite.
Yeah.
You need to think about your resources. each action has a cost.
Right.
Usually some of those discs.
So like budgeting your team's time and energy?
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
And then you got to think about the zone you're in. Remember, each one has its own features.
Right, those special characteristics.
For example, let's say you're in the coral reef zone.
Okay.
Maybe it gives you bonus research when you dive there. So if you want to publish journals,
Right.
this would be the place to dive.
Choosing the right environment, taking advantage of what's there.
Yeah. And some zones have marked spaces, too, with special rules.
Oh, marked spaces. What are those?
Like, imagine you're in an underwater canyon, and you find this hidden cave full of new species.
Oh, cool.
That's what a marked space is, a special spot within the zone.
So unexpected discoveries.
Exactly. They might let you take an extra action, or give you a discount or bonus to one of your attributes.
So you have to watch out for them.
You do. Now, you might notice some specialists have multiple action symbols.
Right, I was wondering about that.
Some of them are multi-talented, so you can do a few actions when you activate them.
So a team member who's good at a few things.
Yeah. Choosing the right specialist is crucial, not just for their individual skills, but for how they work together.
So teamwork.
Exactly. Each one has their own expertise. Don't forget about those journals.
Right,
They're not just about points. They can boost your strategy.
right. They're like taking your discoveries and turning them into tools.
Yeah. For example,
Yeah.
imagine you published a journal called, say, Deep Sea Navigation Techniques.
Okay.
Maybe this gives you a special action to move between zones cheaper or ignore some movement restrictions.
Wow. That would be super helpful.
It is. Some journals even give you actions that would normally take multiple steps,
That makes sense.
streamlining your efforts.
So you're unlocking hidden potential. This game is so intricate. It's not just actions. It's about making your specialists, your vessels, your journals, the environment all work together.
Yeah, exactly. It's what makes it so captivating. It's like this puzzle,
Yeah.
challenging you to think critically and adapt.
Yeah.
And speaking of, let's not forget about links and promotions.
Oh, right. Those add even more to the game, don't they?
They do.
How do those work again?
Okay, links, those are connections between features on the zones. Like,
Yeah.
imagine dotted lines connecting points of interest on a map.
Okay.
If you put discs on both ends of a link, you get rewarded.
Yeah.
Like, you're creating a synergy.
Like forming collaborations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And remember, those specialists, they can level up through promotions.
They can.
They can. When you meet certain conditions like achieving goals or doing actions, you can promote a junior specialist to their senior side.
Oh, cool. So they get better as you play.
Yeah. It's like unlocking their potential.
So they become more valuable.
Exactly. And those promotions come with extra benefits, maybe new abilities, increased efficiency, or bonus points at the end.
This is all making sense now. You have to form links, promote your specialists, publish journals, manage resources. It's complex. But how does it all tie back to that theme of positive impact?
That's a great question. It's one of the things that makes this game unique. That connection is woven right into how you play.
So it's not just like a theme slapped on top.
No. Think about it. Every action you take has consequences for the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
Like, exploiting a resource might help you now, but it could damage the environment and
Oh.
hurt your impact score later.
So short-term gain versus long-term sustainability.
Exactly. You've got to consider those consequences. Conserving ecosystems, investing in eco-friendly tech, promoting sustainable practices. Those give you a higher impact score and a healthier ocean, symbolically.
It's encouraging you to think about the real world, to make choices that benefit everyone.
Exactly. And the impact board shows you those changes you're making,
Yeah.
reminding you that your actions have an impact.
I love that. It's like you're learning about conservation while having fun. We've been talking about competition a lot, but I know there's cooperative and solo modes too.
There are, yeah.
How do those change things up?
Well, in cooperative mode, you're not trying to outdo each other anymore.
Right.
It becomes about working together to make the biggest positive impact as a team.
So a shared victory.
Exactly. And they've added bonus goals to make it even more challenging and collaborative.
Oh, bonus goals. What are those like extra objectives?
Yeah, think of them like taking on extra challenges, showing how dedicated you are to ocean conservation. It could be things like conserving a certain number of ecosystems,
Right.
or publishing a set of specific journals, or exploring those really deep areas.
So you set ambitious goals as a team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The more bonus goals you achieve,
Yeah.
the more successful your team is considered. But, it wouldn't be a true ocean adventure without some hiccups.
Ah, you're talking about those setback cards.
I am.
They throw you off course.
They do. They're like those unexpected events, like a storm delaying your research
Right.
or an equipment malfunction.
So you have to adapt your plans.
Yeah. A setback card might make you move your vessels
Okay.
or lose resources, maybe even get a penalty
Yeah.
to one of your team's
It's got
attributes.
to work together to overcome those.
Exactly, just like real conservationists.
It's so realistic.
It is.
Now, what about solo mode? Is it just like a simpler version of cooperative?
Actually, solo mode is really interesting. It's
Yeah.
not just watered down. It's its own challenge. You're like a one-person team managing everything. You even get 7 rounds instead of 6.
So you're the lead scientist in charge of the whole mission.
Exactly. And you still have bonus goals and setback cards to deal with.
Keeps you on your toes.
It does. You still
Yeah.
get that feeling of leading a mission to make a difference.
That's awesome. It's so versatile.
It is.
It's got something for everyone. We've covered a ton in this deep dive. Attributes, specialists, vessels, all those strategic elements like the zones, the journals, those links and promotions.
It's been quite a journey.
It has, and we've seen how all those things make this game more than just winning or losing.
Yeah.
It's about exploring, strategizing, and really making that positive impact on the ocean.
Even if it's just in a game, you know?
Right. And that's what makes it special, I think. It sticks with you. It makes you think about conservation.
Yeah.
It makes you curious about the ocean.
It does.
And maybe even inspires you to do something, even something small, to protect our planet.
Absolutely. Even small actions can make a big difference.
So true. And as we wrap up this deep dive, one final thought for you. The game keeps talking about positive impact. What does that mean for us? How can we, each of us make a difference?
That is a great question.
What actions can we take, even if they're small, to help the ocean? Something to think about as you play Endeavor, Deep Sea, and beyond.
Love that.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.